All right, so the recording started. All right, my name is Chaz Roach. This is for Communications 101. We're going to do a debate over a controversial topic, and what we chose was transgender rights. We have today Charles Thompson and Hope Newberry. Charles, on what side of this debate will you be taking sides on?
I think it honestly just depends on what's I guess I'm not against it, but I'll say I'll pull through with it. I think that if a male would want to turn into a female and still I think that I wouldn't say I'm not against it, but I think I'm not against it. Let's just say that.
All right, cool. And then we'll see Hope Newberry. What's your stance on this?
I'm against it more because of the side effects that it's going to have even if you become transgender, because I personally think that you're not going to be happy in your body. Like, if you're not happy with it now, you're not going to be happy with it after you become the gender that you want to be. And even statistics show that.
Okay, so Charles, it sounds like to each their own for you, and then Hope, it is a health hazard and a regretful situation. Are we about right with that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start the questions. The first question is, and we'll go to Charles for this first one to start. Once a transgender individual has completed their transition, should that individual be allowed to change their sex on their birth certificate and/or medical records?
Personally, I think the way you're born is how it should be for the rest of how it should stay. Um, and earlier I did say that I'm not necessarily against the transgender movement, I guess, but I think that I don't know. I don't think they should be necessarily allowed to change their sex on their birth certificate or their medical records, because number one, that would make it difficult for doctors and things like that. But I think the way you're born is how it should stay, um, for however long you until you die.
Okay. Hope, do you have any input on this?
So my thing is, I think obviously that their sex should be the same on their birth certificate and medical records. But I do think that on medical records, it should be noted that they are transgender, because that could lead to multiple reasons. They might be having medical issues or mental issues or any kind of personal issues that they're going through right now.
Very good. And it sounds about what your intro sounded like as well. All right, so on to the next question. The NCAA requires trans athletes to compete if they have the league required acceptable amount of testosterone in their systems. Should transgenders be allowed to compete in these sports? I'll start with Hope.
Okay, so I believe that if you are a female and you want to be in male sports, I think that personally you are not born as a male, so you won't physically be as masculine as a male. Like, there's no way, like, it doesn't matter how much testosterone you take, you're not gonna have the same strength as a male, because you just weren't born that way personally. And if you're a male and you want to become a female, you're going to have too much strength. Like, I don't think that's fair to anyone else who is competing.
Okay. So sounds good. Charles, do you have a opinion on that?
Um, I agree with Hope on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I completely agree actually on everything that she said. So
All right, cool. We'll move on to the next one. We'll start this one with Charles. Should transgenders be allowed in what bathroom they identify as?
Yes, I think. Because as they go about changing their gender, I think it would be, number one, I think it'd be weird as they change to, if it's a male changing to a female who's now a female to go into a men's bathroom, that wouldn't look right for one. And but so I think that they should go in the bathroom that they so change to.
Okay. Hope, how do you feel about this?
Okay, so before their surgery, obviously, this is just such a touchy topic. Like, I wouldn't want a man to come in to my bathroom thinking that he's a man. Like,
Okay.
that's just weird. And I wouldn't want to go into a man's bathroom and me acting like I have male parts whenever I don't. Like, I think that's just weird. So I kind of think that transgenders should have their own bathroom,
Okay.
because even after the process, I wouldn't want to see a guy walk into my bathroom and that totally be okay. Like, what if I have my kid with me in my bathroom and then they start questioning at a young age why a man is allowed to come into the bathroom?
All right. Charles, do you have anything to say about that?
That's makes perfect sense to me. If I was with my kid and something like that happened, that wouldn't be good. So I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're getting to the end. So there's been a big progressive push for universal health care. Probably eventually that will come about. If that does, and when it does, should sex changes be covered as a right of part of that health care? Charles.
I think it should. Because
Your think on it, Charles. Hope, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about sex
Okay.
changes being covered by universal health care?
Okay. So I personally think that if you have gone to therapy and you have seen many psychiatrists and you have tried many different steps before taking this transgender process, I think maybe they might pay a little part of it, but you're the one that's wanting to do this for yourself. You're the one that's wanting to change who you are and your denticles and all that areas. And so I believe that you should have to pay for it.
Okay, so you see it more as an elective than a right, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. And Charles, do you have anything to say back to that?
it is definitely something that you yourself, it's no one else's idea except for yourself. So
So you agree with Hope?
I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Pushing on to the end. Gay rights have made strides in the past years, specifically the right to marriage, which has been legalized in most states. Should trans people be afforded the same rights? We'll start with Charles, since I gave Hope the floor last one.
I can go either way on this. I'm not necessarily. It's up to them. I don't support it, but it's completely up to them within their partner. But I think that everyone finds someone, and if it happens to be with the same sex, then I think that it's okay. So
Back to your opening. To each their own. Good. Hope. What do you think about that?
So, I mean, I think that we should love everybody as they are and everything, but I wish that we could get to the point where we loved everybody and they can love themselves as who they are. They don't have to change who they are. Like, because a lot of people that change their sexuality or their female or male, whatever, they have a lot of inside issues and inner issues that they need to deal with. But I don't think that that's something that we should have to take care for them. I think that they should be able to deal with it themselves or with like therapists and stuff like that. I don't know. Like everything should be legal, but I wish it got to the point where we could all just be happy with ourselves.
All right. Interesting. Good take. Guys, do you have any closing statements you'd like to address before getting off? Good to go. Hope. Good.
Okay. So another reason why, like going on what I said earlier in my introduction, why I am kind of against transgender. So I've done a bunch of research, and like I said, half of the people that do the transgender surgery, most of them regret it. I mean, and a lot of people are usually under the age of 21. And I mean, that's kind of crazy, but you got to think that younger people are still growing. So, of course, they want to change because they're going through a dramatic time period of change. So, I think that there should be legal laws that makes it not able to be able to change if you want to be a male or female until you're at least 25, because at this point you would have done a bunch of research and you would spend many and many and many and many years realizing that, oh, I want to become a boy, or oh, I want to become a girl. I just think that this shouldn't be something that should be taken lightly. Like, I shouldn't be able to go somewhere and I'd be like, man, I want to become a boy. And they'd be like, okay, we'll get you right on that. I think that this is something serious, because that is something serious, and it could lead to deaths, suicides, because it has. So.
All right. Well, thank you. Strong thoughts. Charles, any saved rounds?
Yes, I think that I've never done a lot of research on transgenders, but I'm gonna go back to the sports category in this, especially if, say, a male is wanted to be a female, and they make that change. I have read on that that especially like when it comes to speed and agility and things like that, when they change into a girl, they'll have that testosterone, and they will more than likely be faster, quicker, stronger, and all that. So in my opinion, it's not necessarily, I don't think it's that fair. So because they changed from that men's sport to the women's sport. So I think if they so choose to change from a male to female, I think they should be able to stay in the male side of the sport rather than go to the female, even though they are female. But that's just what I think about it. Like I said, I hadn't done a whole lot of research on it, but that's what I think. So.
All right, good. Thank you, guys. That's our time. I'm going to stop the recording, and you guys have a good one.